So today I'm going to share a little bit about my businesses and running my businesses with you. So I have got 3 businesses at the moment, although one of them is quite diverse. So one business is a property business. So the business owns 10 properties that we rent out, mostly to students, but to some families. And it started in the early 2000s as kind of like a pension plan, really, but it's grown bigger than that and now brings in some regular income. That's one business. Second business, I worked in a job for 24 years where I was supplying materials to companies that manage sites. So it's called facilities management. So it'd be a company that, say, manages the site of Barclays Banks or something in the Midlands. So they just maintain all the things. So if a ceiling tile breaks, they fix that. If a tap breaks, they fix that. If a carpet tile gets ripped up, they fix that. Door handles, locks, all that sort of thing. So I used to supply that for a company. And I built up years of knowing where to find the things, because obviously they got to match it up to the one that was there before. So I got years and years of experience of being able to source that stuff for people. So then I set up my own company when I left that job, because some of my old customers were desperate for me to carry on supplying them, because it's hard to find someone with just the years of knowledge that I've got. Then my third company is a coaching business. So mainly, well, actually it's getting close to half and half now, but mostly I do sort of mindset coaching with people. Weight loss coaching is one of my main areas because, right, so I'm ex-alcoholic. I've been sober 5 years and 2 months. Ex-smoker, I quit in 2005. Ex-gambling addict. Last time I gambled was March 2017, and I used to be overweight. So I lost 60 pounds in the period of 2015 to 2017, and I've kept it off ever since. So I know a lot about habit change, addictive behaviours, getting results and that sort of thing. And I can apply that to all sorts of different areas. So I've got clients who are CEOs of big businesses who I've helped take their businesses get bigger. I've helped people lose 50 pounds in weight. I've helped people quit smoking. I haven't actually helped anyone quit drinking, but I don't think anyone's come to me for that. But yeah, so I've got good knowledge of helping people kind of transform their lives and see things differently. And I help people set up new businesses as well. So I've had a few clients now who want to get into coaching or something like that. And because of my experience of doing that, which I kind of started in 2018, 2019, but I was only doing it for free and for kind of people I'd met online. I was just helping them then. And then they were like, you should do this for a living. And obviously then that's how I got into doing that. So I help people do that sort of thing as well. So today I just want to talk about how I do some of the accounts work for that coaching business. So if you're like a personal trainer, like personal trainers, I've got a lot to offer you, because I think a lot of personal trainers want to help people with weight loss, and they come at it from the calories in, calories out perspective, which is absolutely right, but you really need to get into your client's head as to why they struggle to not keep to their calories inside of the equation. So that is the addictive behavior type thing that I'm really specialized in. So I've got a lot where I can help you with that and with your business. So what I was going to talk about today is I had one of these letters from HMRC saying that my corporation tax payment, so I have got a limited company for my coaching business. You don't have to do that, by the way. You really don't have to do that, but I do, because of all my other businesses and the tax brackets and stuff, which I'll talk about in another video. The corporation tax payment I have to make by the 5th of August. Today is the 2nd of August, so I've got like 4 days to sort it out and make it. Now that it tells me I've got to make a payment, they're kind of assuming there that I've done the tax, done my accounts for that year, which I haven't. So I need to do the accounts quickly to work out how much corporation tax I owe. Now, I just want to tell you a little bit about how I do my accounts, because if you're setting up in business, this will help you, I think. So I try and keep every single thing goes through one bank account. So I've got my Halifax bank account that I use for that business, and it's actually only a personal account. And what I do is in that business, put everything I can through there. So if a client pays me by direct debit or by bank transfer, that's the bank I give them the details for. If I pay for something like my Zoom subscription, that goes out of that account. Now, this means that when I have to work out my accounts, it makes it a lot easier because I can just go through my bank statement, transferring it onto an Excel of my accounts. Or your bookkeeper or your accountant can. It makes it really easy for them. Now, the other thing I do is I use one credit card, which is a black MasterCard, that I use to buy all other things. So say I have to buy some equipment and I buy it off Amazon, I make sure I use that card. And then what happens with that is every month when I get my statement for that, I use that card for all three of my businesses. So what will happen is I'll get my statement for this card, which is the NatWest Black credit card, and I will go through it and mark off everything, whether it's for my building materials business, personal use, or whether it's for my coaching business, right? And then I'll take 3 copies of the statement and put for the businesses, put a copy of the receipt and staple it to it. So on this example here, on this statement, I've got a receipt there for my Zoom payment. I've got a receipt for payment for some education that I got. That one is for, some more education. And that one is for actually a donation that I made, okay? So then I've got that there in my accounts. Now the payment for this, so for that month, I actually spent on the card, CCL is my coaching business, which is Coach Chris Lloyd. I spent £224.48 on the card, which I will pay then out of the bank that I was talking about before, the Halifax account. So then that payment shows on there as well. So also when I'm doing the accounts, I've got that payment, comes up on my statement, 224, transfer that onto the accounts, but then I know that's a minus. I know that I have to then come to this and find out how that £224.48 was made up, because in your accounts you want to know what's for marketing, what's for equipment, what's payments to HMRC, what's wages, whatever, all things like that. You have to put them into the different departments or whatever you want to call them. So that's how I do that. Make sure the payment for the credit card goes out of that Halifax account, and then try and keep everything else going from there. And that means that today, when I come to say I've got all day, it's Saturday, I'm kind of like, right, I've got all day, I'm going to sit down and go through those. I just have to go through the bank statements first, put in everything into my Excel form. I wonder if I can kind of show you that on here. No, I can't. I'll try and add a screenshot later. I can put all those in from the Halifax. Then I go back in to see the Halifax payment out for the credit card, and then I split that down into the payments there. So that's how I do that. I don't know if that helps you. Hopefully that helps you see that it can be quite easy to do your accounts. Then you'll have to send that to an accountant. That's if you do a limited company. If you are just going to do it as self-assessment, you're just going to be yourself, which is what I did for years at the start. Still, I would set up a separate bank account. That's why that is a personal bank account. Set up a separate personal bank account and use that and try and put all your transactions through that. When you pay your credit card every month, don't leave it, by the way. Obviously pay your credit card every month, but don't leave doing the accounts part of that until the end of the year, because you will get overwhelmed. But just go through it every month, making sure you've printed off the receipts that are for your coaching part of your business, because obviously you're going to get tax relief on some of the spending. So you want to know what your expenses are versus your income. And if you've kept the records every month, quite easy, then when you do the accounts at the end of the year, you can see your profit. Bookkeeper or an accountant can just tell you the difference. In fact, if you're doing self-assessment, you can just put them in yourself and you just pay your tax. It's actually quite easy. I'll make more videos about that. If you want coaching on that, you know where to come. But definitely, this is the easiest way to do it. Don't get things all mixed up. Good luck with your business. Remember, if you're a personal trainer, put yourself as much as you can in your client's head, and then you'll be able to help them much better than just telling them it's 4 sets of 12 of everything and whatever. Like, I know if you're a heart-led coach who wants to help people lose weight, wants to help people transform their lives and get healthy, that you want to do the best for them. And that is the way to do it, is to get inside their head, to connect with them and do what you can. Keep going. I'll catch you in the next one.